In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create and manage an email list in the Aweber members area. So the first thing you need to do is log into Aweber, and you'll see your basic home page of the members area come up. Now, when you create a list, what you're doing is you're creating a segmented bucket, if you will, that allows you to manage consumers or customers' information related to that bucket. So I'm going to show you an example where we're creating a list for basic email submits. If I was running an affiliate offer or building landing pages where customers could sign up for a Best Buy gift card, a Walmart gift card, maybe a free Apple iPad, and all they have to do is put in their email address. So that's what we're going to build in relation to our first list here. Now, to create your list, there's two places you can click. The first is right up here at the top in this yellow bar where it says Create and Manage Lists. The second is in the lower right hand corner where it says Create a New List. So I'm simply going to click on Create a New List. Aweber then brings up their list creation page, and they automatically create a list name for me. So this is what I have to name my bucket or my list right off the bat. They put in a default name, and you can see just to the right here where it says your list name will help you distinguish the list from others, and it can be up to 15 characters long, containing only letters, numbers, and hyphens. So I'm going to take out the default name, and since I know that this is my email list that I want to create, I'm going to just type in email submit list. Right there it tells me that the name is available, and what Aweber does is they have to actually go out and look at all their other members and determine from all their other members in their network or service if anybody's using that list. They cannot have duplicate names on their system. So if somebody else had utilized the name email submit list, I could not use it. And so you may run into some issues as you're trying to create your list name if it says it's unavailable. Just know that you'll have to come up with a different variation of that name. From there, I'll then click on List Description. Now the list description is basically what tells the subscribers or the people opting into my list what the list or campaign is about. So in this case, my list or campaign is about receiving free product offers and gift cards. So that way when people sign up for this list description, they know that they're going to receive from me free product offers and gift cards in the future. From there you can then put in who's that list from. Now this is where you'd have to put in your name, basically what it's going to show up in that customer's information. So you put in the name, and then you can also put in your address. Now they recommend, or Aweber recommends, that you don't use free addresses like Yahoo or Gmail. So if you have a landing page, it could be something like support@aroundmybaby.com, which is a legitimate business address. But if you don't have something like this, you can just put in a regular Gmail or Yahoo address. It doesn't matter one way or the other. But again, just this shows your customers who is sending the email. So when they do receive their email from you, it's going to say this came in from Brett Hughes from this address. From there we scroll down the page and they have in the contact address. Now the contact address is adjusted up in the My Account information area, so you set that up previously. Under notifications, this is where you're going to receive an email every time a new subscriber is added to your list. So when someone signs up, where do you want that information to go to? So at this point I can say, well, I'll put in my name, and then I want the email address to come from, again, the same place. This also sends out notifications to your customers. So when they sign up for your list, it's going to come from this email address and from this person, and then you can add that in. So again, just building the basics of the list. At that point, I can go ahead and click to save my settings. So now that is saved into the product settings. Aweber then takes me into the next step, which is called personalizing your list, and this is where you can tell about your company, set your social media, and different items for your list. So company branding, give us a message and pages basically adds a personal touch for your consumers as they sign up for things. So I can put in my company name. So this is my actual business name. If I have a website URL, such as a landing page, I can put that information in. Now you don't have to, this is just extras to, again, add that personal touch. And then you can do an email signature, such as So you can put that in. Now it says here that I have an invalid URL. More than likely I'll need to take out the www. And you have to kind of mess around here. Let's see if we can try the full URL. From there, we'll scroll down the page. We then set up our social media. Do I want people to know about my social media for this website? Yeah, I can connect with Facebook and Twitter if I want. You have to put in that information. And then you can include a web form for those pages. And then you also have your unsubscribe page. Now, every customer has to have the option to unsubscribe. It's just part of ICANN rules, spamming laws. So you cannot get rid of that. Every customer must have the right to unsubscribe from an email list. From there, you can put in basically global text snippets such as your hours of operation or different things like that. You can create a new snippet. These you don't have to do, but you can learn more about text snippets and some practical uses for them if you want to. You then click Save Settings, and as you save your settings, you can then go on to the next part, which is your confirmed opt-in. Now on confirmed opt-in, this is where we actually send the customer an email after they opt into our list. And you can edit this. Aweber does their basic setting, but you can go in and edit the subject. So subject right now is confirm your subscription. You can go in and change that so you can have it say something like confirm your subscription, or even use their first name fix. So they've opted in, and then when they opt in, it'll say something like Nolan, confirm your subscription. And that's what this first name fix does. You can also do name fix or response required. So you can adjust and change that how you want. You can then insert a custom field, again, like their first name. So I would say first name fix, meaning that it would always come up and say, Nolan, confirm your subscription. From there, you can go in and edit the actual text that they're going to receive in that subject box. We received your request for information from the email submit list group. Before you begin sending the information to you requested, we want to be certain that we have your permission to do so. This basically means that they can submit or that they agree to your terms and conditions. Now, you'll notice here that you have 500 characters. They're only using 179 at this point, but it has to be 10 lines or less. You can also scroll down and then start editing your basic confirmation link here. Now, this is provided by Aweber. That link cannot be changed. That's just the confirmation part. And then you can edit the signature. You can add in a custom signature such as thanks for your support. And then you can insert again a field like their first name or last name. And that's what these insert fields are. You can do a name, first name fix, last name fix. You can do their email address. And what that would do is if I add in right here, if I click before thanks, and then I add in just their entire name, this would say Nolan Hill, thanks for your support, and it would automatically populate the consumer's name and based upon what they signed up for. So that insert field is really nice to have, and you can put anything from a first name, a last name, the entire name. You can also go all the way down to their location, such as what city they're in, what country or region, a signature, even the date and time. So a lot of very helpful fields, and wherever you insert that is basically where the field or the form is going to automatically populate their personalized information. So once you have that information loaded up, you then can scroll down to step 2, which is require opt-in on the web forms. Now, they recommend leaving this on, or Aweber recommends leaving this on. And what this means is that all subscribe methods require a confirmed opt-in to ensure that only the recipients who have specially requested to be on this list are subscribed. And this means that you basically have proof of someone who's opted in, and far and fewer spam complaints. Now, a spam complaint is when someone actually complains that they didn't get on your list, they didn't want to be on your list, and that you're spamming them and sending them unwanted emails. And if you get too many spam complaints, your list can be shut down. So having the opt-in form on is really helpful. You can turn it off if you want, but I recommend leaving it on at this point. And that opt-in web form will then send them this confirmation email for them to opt in. At that point, you have your confirmation success page URL. So after they click the link inside their opt-in or confirmation page email, where do you want to send them? So at this point, I can go ahead and send them to any website that I want. And with this, I may want to send them to an affiliate offer or back to my website, basically wherever I want to send the customer after they click that email. They've opted in. We can then click Save Settings, and the basics of our list are now set up. So we've done our basic settings, we've personalized our settings, and we have confirmed our opt-in information. So now we can go in and actually create our web form. So what I'm going to do is come back and manage my email submit list. Now under a current list, you can see how we have all these different lists here. What I simply have to do is select my email submit list and then manage that list. Now when I get into manage my list, as you can see, I can go in and manage any list that I want. Obviously I created and managed the email submit list, so this is what I would go to manage and make adjustments or changes to those same areas that I just basically created. Now from here, I want to go ahead and create my web form. And the web form is basically the form that the customer will fill out and that will drop their information into that email and submit list. So what I'm going to do is come up to my lists, and then I'm going to go down to custom fields. When I click on custom fields, Aweber is then going to ask me where I can create or define a custom field, and this is where I can click more information about my subscriber other than just their name or an email address, and I can add in specific or custom fields that I want. Now, I just want to create my web form right now, so then I can go ahead and click on web form. And when I click on web form, it then brings me to the web forms page, and this is where I can create simple web forms really in just 3 clicks. So what I first want to do is create the form that's going to go on my landing page or on my website. So I want to click the green button that says create a new web form. So we'll click on that button. It then takes me in where it's going to load up the web form program, or basically WYSIWYG Builder. So first thing I want to do is determine what fields I want. So as I scroll down the page here, it shows me design. I can determine the fields that I want on the web form, as well as what type of coloring and style. Basically, I can do popular and say, well, show me the most popular web form templates. There's one for weight loss, here's a basic, here's a pointer, download, sign up for free. You can look at a lot of different kinds here. Let's choose the mail icon, and then I can choose my coloring. Do I want red? Do I want black? And it'll readjust that. Do I want bronze? And you can do this just to match what your page is ultimately going to look like. So let's load that template there, select the coloring, and you've got a lot of options here. You can do new, customized templates that you may have created, corporate, and more. From here, I then want to add in the information or the fields that are important. So right now I'm just asking for name and email address. Now in relation to this type of list, that's all I really need because it's an email submit list. I shouldn't have to ask for anything more than a name and an email address. But let's say that I was doing something where it was a very robust list. I needed a customer's phone number, maybe a social security number for whatever reason, or a mailing address. Well, I can come in and create new fields by simply clicking on create a new field, and then I can enter the name of that field. So let's say I needed a phone number. And then I can save that. And you'll notice that it adds that to the form. And then same thing here, I'm just going to put in the phone number. I can adjust the text on that. So I can say, well, let's change the text value. Let's maybe make it a radio button or whatever. There's a lot of different options there. And then I can go ahead and save that. And I can create another form. And I can say, well, on this one, I need a mailing address. And again, save that, and it puts that into my form. Now that's just for an example, again, where this is for an email list submit. I don't need those fields. All I need is the name and the email address. So I'm going to just click on this red X and delete that. Now if I want to edit this field, I can click on edit, and it brings up that edit box again for me to adjust and edit the field. But again, in this scenario, I don't need the mailing address, so I'm going to click to delete that. So I need my name and email address. Now I can also adjust the size of this. I can click on resize, and I can drag it out, make it bigger if I want, or make it more narrow. That's the great thing about this WYSIWYG editor, is that it's very robust. It makes building your web forms very easy. I can even edit the footer. Maybe if I want to put information down here in the footer, type in some text. You can adjust and save that. You can center it. You can bold it, and you can see that it's automatically adjusting that over here. You can also put text in the box, in the header box, excuse me. So we can say or in this case, and then click Save. So you can put any type of information you want inside this box. Once I've selected my coloring, I can adjust my header, I can adjust my background coloring, my bordering, my templates, the forms. I can go ahead and click Go to Step 2. When I click Go to Step 2, I want to name the form. Well, this is going to be my email submit form that's going to go into my email submit list. And then what type of thank you page do I want? Well, the thank you page is what the customer sees after they actually sign up for the pre-submit, or in the form. Basically, they fill out the form and then submit that. So I can do a basic version provided by Aweber, or I can say, hey, go to a custom page or stay on a current page. Well, if I say go to a custom page, I can then enter in the URL of where I want that customer to go. And at that point, I can preview this and see what happens with it. So let's preview it. It'll load up the web form, and it actually will then send the page to where the customer is going to go. So this is where the customer would go after they click the submit button on that form. Again, you can change that, put in whatever you want. And then you can put in what if the customer is already subscribed. So we can do a basic version or a custom, again, send them to a specific page. So either way, it doesn't matter. I can also do advanced settings. Now, advanced settings mean that I can track specific things. I can put in some tracking codes, or I can also, like the welcome message or no follow-up welcome messages. Basically, do I want to give them a welcome message? Do I want to give them no message after they sign up? And also a data form. Basically, I can forward the subscriber information to a thank you page someplace else. Basic things to do here. And then I can click, once I've filled out all this information, I can click Go to Step 3. Now when I click Go to Step 3, it tells me I have to save my web form first, so let's save the form. And now it's telling me, well, you're almost done, you're ready to publish. So how will I install the form? Well, you can basically, if you're comfortable with HTML, you can click on to install it with HTML to edit your pages, or you can click on My Web Designer and this will install the form for you, or you can have Aweber host it. Well, in this case, usually the easiest thing to do is to click I will install my form, and then you're just going to take this Java code snippet. And that Java code snippet is then going to go into your landing page or into a website. So, and that JavaScript form is what you would drop into your website. You can also get the raw HTML. You can actually copy and paste this and drop this into your website as well. So very easy to do. Now, you have to have a website or a landing page in order to install the form. Now that you've created it, you have to put it someplace else. If you have somebody that is designing your site for you and managing it for you, you can basically email them that code information and they'll know what to do with it. Or you can basically have Aweber host that and they'll charge you a small fee for that hosting price. So that's the basics of your form installation. So, very simple to do. Let's go back and manage our lists. We'll scroll down the page. And let's come in to actually manage our email list. And just make sure we've got everything squared away here. Everything looks good as is. Let's just check our personalized list. Make sure everything's adjusted and set up as it should. And our confirmed opt-in. And we should be good. So that's the basics of how you create your web form. So very easy to understand, very easy to create. If you have further questions on how to build a list, or if you ever get hung up, remember that there's always this live chat option down in the lower left-hand corner. You can also search Aweber and go to the quick help section.